Welcome to Dreamy Tales, where soothing stories guide you into a peaceful night's sleep. Enjoy imaginative bedtime stories that take you on a journey to the land of dreams, accompanied by relaxing background sounds to help you unwind and drift off easily. Perfect for both children and adults, Dreamy Tales is your ideal companion to relax, wind down, and enjoy tranquil moments. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share it with others. Tune in, relax, and let your mind wander into a world of calm and serenity with us. In a peaceful meadow surrounded by tall, swaying trees, lived Toby, a wise and thoughtful tortoise. Toby was known throughout the forest for his patience and calm demeanor, always taking life one slow, deliberate step at a time. One sunny morning, while exploring a quiet corner of the woods, Toby came across something unusual, a dusty, rolled-up parchment, half buried beneath a pile of autumn leaves. "What's this?" Toby muttered to himself as he carefully nudged the parchment out from under the leaves with his beak. With great care, he unrolled the parchment. It was a map, ancient and worn, with strange markings and faded symbols. In the center of the map, drawn in shimmering golden ink, was a winding river that twisted and turned through strange lands. Above the river was written in delicate script, "The River of Time." Toby blinked slowly. The River of Time? I've never heard of such a place. His curiosity, though always patient, was piqued. Toby had lived in the forest for many years, and he had seen many things. But this map hinted at something different, something extraordinary. Gathering the map with great care, he placed it in his shell's pocket and began his slow journey back home. As Toby walked, his mind buzzed with possibilities. The River of Time, what could it mean? Could it be a place where the past and future came together? Or perhaps it was a magical river that granted wisdom to those who found it. The mystery grew deeper with each step he took. When Toby reached his cozy burrow beneath the large oak tree, he laid the map out on a smooth rock and studied it more carefully. The symbols on the map seemed to shift and change the longer he looked at them. It was almost as if the map was alive, guiding him somewhere important. "This is no ordinary map," Toby murmured to himself. "I must find this river of time." He spent the night preparing for his journey, gathering his walking stick, a small pouch of food, and a warm scarf for the cold nights ahead. Toby knew that whatever lay ahead, it would be unlike anything he had ever experienced before. The next morning, Toby set out on his adventure. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden glow over the forest. Birds chirped in the trees, and the sound of a nearby stream filled the air with gentle music. Toby followed the map, which led him through familiar paths at first. He passed the flower-filled meadows, the trickling streams, and the towering trees he had known all his life. But soon, the landscape began to change. The trees grew taller and more twisted, their branches reaching out like arms. The air grew cooler, and the sky seemed darker, even though the sun still shone brightly overhead. Toby's steps were slow and steady, but his heart beat a little faster. He had never ventured this far from his home before. But he knew he had to keep going. The River of Time awaited him. As he walked deeper into the forest, Toby encountered other animals who had heard of the mysterious river. A wise old owl named Orla swooped down from the trees to speak with him. "You seek the river of time, do you?" Orla asked, her large amber eyes gleaming with curiosity. Toby nodded slowly. "I've found a map that leads to it, and I wish to see it for myself." Orla ruffled her feathers thoughtfully. "Many have sought the river, but few have found it. They say it is a place where time flows differently, where the past and future meet. Be careful, Toby. The journey is long, and the river holds great power." "I understand," Toby replied. "But I must see it with my own eyes." Orla nodded in approval. "Then I wish you good luck, brave tortoise. Follow the wind, and let your heart guide you." With that, Toby continued on his way. The forest grew denser, and soon, he found himself walking along a narrow, winding path that seemed to lead deeper into the unknown. The air around him shimmered, as if the very fabric of time was beginning to bend. As Toby ventured further, the map seemed to glow faintly, guiding him through the twisting paths of the forest. Strange creatures watched him from the shadows, their eyes glowing in the dim light. But none of them dared approach the wise tortoise. Toby's steady and calm presence reassured them that he meant no harm. After what felt like days, Toby reached the edge of a vast, enchanted forest. The trees here were unlike any he had ever seen, tall and ancient, with silver leaves that sparkled like stars. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and something else, something timeless. Toby paused for a moment to take in the beauty around him. The forest seemed alive, pulsing with the rhythm of time itself. He knew he was getting closer. Suddenly, a soft voice called out to him from the shadows. "Who are you, traveler?" Toby turned to see a small, shimmering figure emerge from the trees. It was a spirit of the forest, her form glowing with an ethereal light. "I am Toby, a tortoise from the meadow," he replied. "I seek the river of time." The spirit smiled warmly. "You are brave to seek such a place, Toby. The river of time holds great mysteries, but it also holds great danger. Are you sure you wish to continue?" Toby nodded. "I have come this far, and I will not turn back now." The spirit nodded in understanding. "Then follow the path ahead. The river flows beyond the great mountain. But be warned, once you enter the river's current, time will not flow as it does here. Be wise, Toby, and trust in yourself." With that, the spirit disappeared into the trees, leaving Toby alone once more. He took a deep breath and continued on, his resolve stronger than ever. The path began to steepen as Toby made his way towards the mountain, a towering behemoth that seemed to touch the sky. Each step became more challenging, the ground uneven and rocky. Yet, he felt a strange energy propelling him forward, as if the mountain itself was calling him to reach its peak. As he climbed, the scenery transformed. The lush green of the forest gave way to rugged rocks and sparse vegetation. With every pause for breath, Toby looked back to see the beautiful, sprawling meadow slowly disappearing below him. It was a reminder of the home he cherished, but the allure of the river of time was far too strong to turn back now. While climbing, Toby encountered several animals along the way. A cheeky squirrel named Squeaky darted up to him, his fluffy tail twitching with excitement. "Where are you off to, Toby?" "I'm seeking the river of time," Toby replied, panting slightly. "Have you heard of it?" Squeaky's eyes widened. "Oh, yes. It's said to be magical. But be careful, many have tried to find it and never returned." Toby nodded, a mixture of determination and caution in his heart. "I will be careful, Squeaky. Thank you for your concern." As he continued, Toby met a wise old goat named Gerald, who was resting on a rocky ledge. "Young tortoise, what brings you to these heights?" Gerald asked, his voice gruff yet friendly. "I am searching for the river of time," Toby explained. "I want to understand its mysteries." Gerald chuckled softly. "Ah, the river. A noble pursuit. But remember, the journey will test your resolve and your heart. Keep your wits about you, Toby." With newfound encouragement, Toby pressed on. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain, and the air grew chillier. But Toby felt invigorated, filled with anticipation for what lay ahead. After hours of climbing, Toby finally reached the summit. The view took his breath away. Below him lay an expansive landscape, forests, rivers, and valleys stretching as far as the eye could see. But it was the sight of the river of time that captured his attention. The river sparkled like 1,000 stars, winding its way through the land with an otherworldly grace. Its waters shimmered in hues of blue, gold, and silver, creating a mesmerizing tapestry of colors that danced in the fading light. The air around the river hummed with an energy that felt almost alive. Toby approached the riverbank, heart racing with excitement. He had finally found it, the river of time. The sound of the flowing water was soothing and powerful, calling him closer. He could feel the pull of the current, inviting him to step into its depths. "What do I do now?" Toby wondered aloud. A voice echoed from the river, soft yet commanding. "Step into the river, and you will see." Toby hesitated but remembered the words of the spirit from the forest. He carefully dipped a toe into the cool water, and in an instant, a surge of energy washed over him. The river's current wrapped around him, and he felt himself being drawn in. As Toby surrendered to the river, he was engulfed in a whirlwind of colors and sensations. He saw flashes of his past, his early days in the meadow, his adventures with friends, and the peaceful moments he had cherished. But then, the river pulled him further, showing him visions of the future. He saw how the forest would change, how new animals would come to call it home, and how the seasons would continue to flow endlessly. Through it all, Toby felt a profound understanding of time, how it was a continuous river, shaping life as it flowed. Each moment was a gift, every memory a treasure. After what felt like an eternity, Toby found himself back on the riverbank, breathless and filled with wisdom. The river shimmered in the twilight, and the world around him felt different somehow, more vibrant, more alive. With the wisdom of the river of time flowing through him, Toby made his way back down the mountain, his heart light and full of purpose. He had seen the beauty of his past and the promise of the future, and he knew he was ready to embrace each moment with a new perspective. As he returned to the forest, the animals greeted him with curiosity. Orla the owl perched on a branch, her eyes wide with interest. "You've returned, Toby. What did you discover?" Toby smiled warmly. "I learned that time is always moving, always changing. But no matter how fast or slow it flows, we must cherish each moment and live with patience and understanding." Orla nodded in approval. "Wise words, Toby. The forest will be a better place with such wisdom." With each step he took, Toby shared his newfound knowledge with the other animals, teaching them the importance of living in the present and appreciating the beauty around them. His adventure had come to an end, but the lessons he had learned would stay with him forever. And so, Toby the Tortoise continued his peaceful life in the meadow, always mindful of the flow of time, and always ready for the next great adventure that awaited him. He knew that every day brought new opportunities and that with patience and understanding, he could face whatever challenges lay ahead. The river of time had shown him that the journey was just as important as the destination, and he was grateful for every moment.